We'll just otherwise. All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our press brief. As you can see, press brief is a little different today. Bear with us a little bit as we're using some live talent that isn't always predictable as to how it'll behave. But we got some good dogs here and some good stuff to talk about. So the reason we're here today, I want to thank the Sioux Falls Humane Society for being here today. And we have two rescues that came from animal control to the Humane Society. And Pippin and Gordo, this is Gordo. Pippin's in back. He's a little excited, so we're letting him calm down a little bit. And they'll be available for interviews for this conference. I just hope you can speak dog. I think they'll be okay. But along with sharing the story of a heartwarming story of two rescue dogs, we'd like to feature the strong partnership between our department and Sioux Falls Humane Society and remind the community of the importance of being a responsible pet owner. I think it's important. Sometimes people lose sight of the fact that animal control is part of the Sioux Falls Police Department. But I think a lot of times there's a negative connotation sometimes with what animal control does, whether they think they're dog catchers or kind of the idea of what they think and see with animal control and what their job actually is. But what they really do is make sure that our animals are safeguarded amongst other areas of importance and really do a variety of tasks. And I encourage you, if you're really interested, and we'll have Patty come up and talk a little bit more, but really look into what animal control does and that they really do contribute a lot to animal welfare. And so I'd like to welcome Patty Beckman up to talk more about the Police Department's Animal Control Division and share some more with you. So,
thank you, Chief. My name is Patty Beckman. I am the Sioux Falls Animal Control Supervisor. First off, I would like to thank the Sioux Falls Humane Society for attending today, along with the owners and the dogs coming. We appreciate you guys being here. So what does animal control do? We enforce the city ordinances pertaining to domesticated animals and wildlife within the city of Sioux Falls. We also promote responsible pet ownership. A few reminders for pet owners in Sioux Falls: every dog and cat that is 6 months or older is required to have a rabies vaccination and a city license. You can get that at any vet here in Sioux Falls. Otherwise, the Sioux Falls Humane Society does issue those as well. We strongly recommend that the pets get microchipped. This helps us get pets back to owners if they are missing. Stray animals, we chip check them all the time. If we have a registered chip that comes back, we'll get them back to the owners. With nicer weather in the forecast, we encourage pet owners to get outside and exercise their pets. But remember, there is a leash law in Sioux Falls, so they are required if they go out for walks to be on a leash. Finally, we want to thank all of the community members for their encouragement and support, along with partners like the Humane Society. It is because of your calls and tips that help our team to be able to keep the animals and the public safe. Now we welcome Dana from the Humane Society, or James, I guess, is coming up first.
Thanks, Patty, and thanks, Chief Toom, for having us at this press conference. I'm James Oppenheimer. We'll also have Dana Kunzem, our Community Outreach Director, talk a little bit to you as well. But at the Humane Society, our mission is to be a safe haven and human voice for all animals in need. We have 5 core values: compassion, inclusivity, innovation, transparency, and community responsibility. And community responsibility is where Sioux Falls Animal Control comes in. All animal control animals are housed at the Sioux Falls Area Humane Society. We take in 8,000 animals a year as an organization. 4,200 of those are strays or seized animals, and the vast majority come from Sioux Falls and come from animal control. We enjoy an amazing relationship with the animal control. Patty and the animal control group have worked with us since 2011, and we've taken in close to 30,000 animals. They're a highly professional group, friendly, respectful. We consider them a great partner as we work within the community. Case management is a huge part of what the Humane Society does with animal control. Something I want to bring attention to is our return rate. Of all the cats that come into the Humane Society, only 5% go back to their owners. Of the dogs, 30% go back. We're really focusing on how can we make that number a little higher? How can we make our intake a little lower? and to go and looking for ways to do that, to go into a bit more detail about what people might want to do if they have, if they own an animal, to prevent that or to make their animal a little bit more findable. I'm going to hand over to our Community Outreach Director, Dana Conzum.
Hi, everyone. I am Dana Conzum. I am the Community Outreach Director at the Sioux Falls Area Humane Society. And we really like to focus on getting back out to our community and making sure that animals that are coming into us are going back home. So when we are looking at animals that have gone missing, we ask that the public right away fills out a loss report, either on our website or even the local Facebook pages. There's a lot of people use animal control. And we ask that you keep in mind that you come and look at the Humane Society or at the Sioux Falls Stray Building. They're constantly housing animals over there that you'll be able to identify your pet much quicker than we would be able to over the phone. So come out and look. We are also excited to introduce a new partnership. We will be partnering with Paw Boost, which is a new program that when an animal comes in to the Humane Society, it will automatically integrate into our animal tracking software. So any stray that we have will automatically upload into Paw Boost. So if anyone is missing their pet, they can go right online and see if we have it. So it'll help get those animals back to their homes. And the last thing that I want to say is make sure you microchip your pets. Like James said, only 5% of cats go back home after being found as strays. So if we are able to microchip more pets in our community, animal control will have an easier time of getting them back to their owners, and then we will have less pets at the Humane Society. I want to thank you all for coming today, and we will have time for questions afterwards. Thank you.
So Gordo and Pippin are two examples of strays that were taken in by animal control and then adopted from the Humane Society.
Yeah, I'll have Patty go into it a little bit, kind of how the process worked, but it's common for animal control to have to investigate animal welfare issues and just to check up on animals. So Patty can kind of tell you how we came across them and just kind of the process of how it played through a little bit. Yeah, you can go up there. Yeah.
They were both removed out of a neglectful situation. And then we were able to get them surrendered to the shelter. And then that way they were able to get the dog's medical need that they needed. One was super skinny, and then the other one had a lot of hair loss. So it was for the better that they were surrendered to us.
Yeah, it's a great example of how the whole system works and how we work with partners and really contribute to the overall welfare of the animals. And so from our action, these dogs would never have a great outcome unless the whole system worked. Mm-hmm. And so for our ability to animal control, or for Humane Society to take the animals, give them the care they need, rehabilitate them, and then find them great homes. And both these dogs have great homes and are thriving today. And I think that's the importance of how we all work together and make it work. And we can't do it alone, but I think as a community too, if we focus on some of these animal welfare issues and understand that the whole process that's out there and the importance of responsible pet ownership, not to sound like Bob Barker, but please spay and neuter. Makes a difference as far as the pressure that the shelters receive and the amount of calls we receive. And of course, again, we'll have opportunity for you to talk to Pippin and Gordo, and they can tell you just how great it is to be adopted into a loving home. So
yeah.
Right.
I guess when it comes to welfare, is there any message for people who might be wondering about the safety of a pet for at a neighbor's house, or just call animal control? Or
Yes, if you see it, don't hesitate to call. We're more than happy to check on it. If it's nothing, it's nothing. But if it's something, I'd rather have you report it than not. So for the animal's well-being.
Can you tell us a little bit about the process once you find a stray dog, or on your guys' end? So I call you, I say, hey, I have a stray dog in my area. What's your guys'?
So we go to the area, we check the area, and if we do find the animal, we'll confine it. We check it to see if it's got a chip. If the chip is registered, we do contact the owner. If the owner says, hey, I can't pick it up right now, we will let them know we are safely bringing it to the Humane Society. They can pick it up there. But if it doesn't have a chip, then we do put it on a 72-hour stray hold at the Humane Society. Nobody comes up to claim it, then we do sign the animal over to the shelter to get adopted out.
And then are you guys looking for any donations right now? I know a lot of times you guys are looking for cat food, dog food.
Always.
Yes, we're always looking for supplies. It takes $3.3 million to run the shelter every year. So In equivalency, that is a lot of cat food and a lot of dog food. So we take in the Hill Science diet for our pets at the shelter, but we'll take any brand for our community food bank. The community food bank helps those that need a supplemental food to help their animal through the month. So they can come up and get a free bag of food from us.
What's the excitement like at the Humane Society when strays like that are found to got good homes to go to finally?
Go ahead.
We adopt out just under 4,000 animals a year, but some just stick out in the memory. Gordo, who was here, some of the pictures which I can share with you guys from him before to after was crazy. And our staff, we have 60 staff, they really get to know the dogs, and so they'll see these animals when they come in, when they're 10 pounds lighter, have no hair, are struggling to get up, have no energy. And they take a real pride, our staff does, and we do as an organization, in nursing these animals back to health, and then seeing an excited owner take them. And sometimes we get follow-up pictures and some things like that just shows what a great home they're in. But our staff really, it's a very emotional place to work, and they really do take a lot of pride in seeing these animals go out.
What's the process of making sure that the family who's coming to adopt the animal is able to take care of them? Do you have a process, and what is it?
Yeah, so when someone wants to come adopt an animal, they first fill out an application with us that tells us who they are, do you have any pets at home, and then per city law, you have to have your animal rabies vaccinated, so we just make sure that they have seen a vet recently. Other than that, it's matchmaking. It's making sure that their personalities match well with the owners. So if someone lives in an apartment and we have a very high energy husky, we're probably going to say that's not the best match, to look somewhere else. But in our animal tracking system, we put all of the people that want to adopt in that system as well. So we just make sure that those people are good to go for that animal. I'd also like to mention that Sioux Falls PD, Animal Control, Humane Society, we're a partnership, but we also have partnerships with the other rescues around town. They really help us out, especially when the Humane Society cannot take on the medical cases or the medical care that particular animal needs. We will reach out to the rescues around our area and see if they can help us out as well. So it's all one big community helping these animals.
Any other questions? Sam, you got a couple things for the log, and then afterwards we'll bring out the other dogs. In fact, Pippin can come in now if he can control himself. He wants to be seen. But then, as soon as we're done with Sam's other portion, then if you want to get some more time with the dogs, we'll give you more time with the dogs. Because it'd be cruel of us not to let you pet them, right?
Right.
If we brought these here with these dogs. So.
I know, I shall think. As you can see, he's in a loving home.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll pip it out, we'll pull them out, and then when we're done, we'll bring the dogs. Okay.
Oh, I know.
Noisy. That's quiet. Okay, so a couple of things. First one I was talking about was some gunshots that happened. This was, the call came in about 8:50 p.m. The gunshots were in the area of 33rd and Bonson Avenue. Initially, we had a few different people called that they heard a number of gunshots. Officers found some shell casings, and then later we ended up finding a victim. And we're still trying to work on figuring out exactly what took place, but we had a few teenagers that were inside a vehicle, and they had said that there was another vehicle that started following them. They didn't really know why this other vehicle was following them. And at some point, it was in that area of 33rd and Bonson. The people in the other car fired a gun at the truck the teenagers were in. That truck was struck 3 different times. No injuries were reported, just had the damage to the truck. So we're still working to figure out, what took place and obviously who was involved. So no arrests at this point in time. And my computer's not working. The other one was follow up, basically that somebody had found a stolen vehicle, and this was I'm waiting for my computer. Let's try that again. Technical difficulties.
You need the time.
No, I need the.
5400 West Cardinal. Is where they found it. Yeah.
There'll be other questions. Give me a second. There we go. Okay. So the other one, this was about 8:30 p.m. The initial call was somebody had found a vehicle parked in an underground apartment parking lot, and that vehicle had been reported stolen. The officers found that there were different plates on that vehicle. They were actually parked inside that underground parking garage, and then there was another vehicle that ended up taking off. It had loud engine revving and then drove at the police car, and at the last second it kind of swerved by and sideswiped the car. The garage door to that underground garage was closed, and that vehicle ran through that garage door. Turns out that that vehicle also was stolen, and then the plates on the first vehicle the officers were looking at, somebody had started to switch them to that second vehicle. So that vehicle took off. We had an officer that was in the car at the time, no injuries from that. And obviously we had the police car that was damaged and the garage door was damaged. We had a different officer that found that second car about 9:15, and that was in the area of 14th Street and Palmer Place. They tried to stop it. That car took off, and then there was a pursuit that happened. They basically drove on 12th Street, and then at 12th and Lyons, that suspect car, that stolen car, ran a red light and then ran into the back of another motorist. There's no injuries with that. The driver tried to run away. He was caught nearby and arrested. There was a small amount of meth that was found inside that vehicle. There was a passenger that was in the stolen vehicle. He was arrested for the drug charges and then possession of a stolen vehicle. And then the driver that ran, he had quite a few charges. We had aggravated assault on law enforcement, possession of controlled substance, aggravated eluding, possession of a stolen vehicle, intentional damage to property, hit and run, and quite a few other traffic charges as well. But that's kind of the gist of that.
So it sounds like there were two cars that were like the bad guys, essentially.
Well, how they ended up there, I guess we don't know that.
And then how many cars were wrecked? I was at the scene last night, so it looked like I saw 2, maybe 3.
Right. It was, I believe the Highway Patrol did the accident investigation, so I don't have details on that. I believe it was just from what is able to piece together, and I still have more reports coming in, but I believe it was just the stolen vehicle, and then the other vehicle that they ran into. I believe those were the only two at that intersection.
So were there 2 suspects then, or just 1?
There were 2 guys in that vehicle that crashed.
And like the driver.
Full list of charges. The passenger had possession of the drug charges and then possession of stolen vehicle. And my computer locked up again too, so did I get that explained enough?
Yeah. Do you have names of suspects? Ages?
Yep. So the driver, his last name is Davis, Davis. First is Brett, Bret. Middle is Arnold, Arnold, and he's 26 from Sioux Falls. And let me for my computer again. Okay. Man, this thing is slow today. Okay. And the passenger of that stolen vehicle, his last name is Wright, Wright. First is Dugan, Dugan. Middle is Brian, Bryan, and he's 34 from Sioux Falls.
Did you say where was that apartment located?
Where it began was the 5400 block of West Dardanella, which is a little bit south of like 12th and Marion. Just kind of put it in perspective. Any other questions about those? Okay, that's basically it. Everything else in the report or on the log was just reports, nothing to note of anything else. So, any other questions? Okay, we'll bring in the dogs. Thanks.
Bring in the dogs. Let's see. Maybe we get Pippin in here first because he's the nephew.